Damn.
I'm Jason Abraham, and welcome to the Mendota Ranch.
Well, welcome to the Mendota Ranch. We finally got some moisture. This is the first time we've had moisture in like 6 months. So it's February 3rd, and so we're glad to get the moisture. Didn't really want snow, but so today what we're going to try to do is catch up to Carlos feeding, putting hay out. There's not just a ton of snow yet, maybe there's 4 or 5 inches, but we're going to go ahead and hay the cows today because it's supposed to get below 0 tonight, so we want to get some energy in those cows. So let me clean my pickup up and you guys come tag along. So here's the deal. Let's try not to get stuck. There's a pretty good chance we're gonna get stuck because these tires are a freaking piece of crap. We're gonna mainly feed in the tractor, but I do need to help Carlos get a couple bales, save him an hour of driving. We need to go up there check the cabin because it's supposed to get below 0 tonight, and I want to make sure the water's good there and so nothing freezes up. So we're going to do that, and we're going to try not to get stuck. So easy day, huh? So if we get stuck, we'll draw straws, see who has to walk on. Target I really need to go fix. I'd like to get back there and get it fixed. I've got shooters coming in tomorrow from Minnesota. Minnesota's hell, they're used to this cold shit. They'll feel right at home. Dewey, I don't know if Dewey's or who was the first one, but they had them back. They started about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe 25. And they made handling round bales so much easier. But before that, we used little squares. Of course, I was 25 years younger too, but I enjoy little squares. But the problem with the little squares is you're trying to bust through snow drifts and crap, and then you lose your stack and crap. But used to, everything I did was in little squares, and I didn't mind it at all, loading the hay. The only thing is you got to have a barn and store your little squares in and stuff like that. You can't stack them outside, and so the tornado come through and took all my barns out. So at the same time, the round bales had gone from being string wrapped, where we used to have to wrap them with string, which was slow as crap, to being net wrapped. And the thing about being net wrapped is the net protects the bale. I mean, you lose a little bit of the edge of the bale, but weather-wise, that net really protects the bale, and it makes baling so much faster. So the advantage of square bales over round bales is pretty much baling. You get your hay, it's a one-man job. Go in there and swath it, rake it, bale it, and you're in and out of there super fast. Where square bales, you swath it, you rake it, and you bale it super slow. I mean, like the square bale is like you're going 3 or 4 miles an hour, where a round baler we're going 8, 9 miles an hour. So it's way faster and way easier to handle, and you don't have to have a bunch of barns to store it in. So, but you got to have equipment to handle it. So the equipment's expensive. We got to go check on that cabin here in a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed these cows here. About half of them stay in the bottom and half of them stay up top. So we'll see how many. Normally, you never know on a storm, but we're going to see how many's down here before we go, because it's 4 or 5 miles back up top. Get back to the top, so we will see how many we got here. She's moving awful slow. She okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Somebody's going to quit shooting my dang T-post. Oh yeah, T-post broke. How about all the, it doesn't matter. It's gonna fall over either way. Well, that's the only targets down, so I got shooters coming in tomorrow from Minnesota, so all the rest, 110, 15 targets are good. Cool, let's go catch up Carlos. These cows here, we got a few baby calves with these. That's the thing about these storms is like, well, these cows get balled up. They get down in these holes, which is fine. Usually, and we leave them, but now it's time to feed them. You can only leave them a day or two. So this thing here, the reason I like it, because it processes the hay. So we carry one bale inside, and this we carry a bale on this, and we can shoot the hay out, or the hay sits here and hits those hammers. Those hammers process the hay. We cut the net off, but there's still always a lot of net left in there, and then it hits this rubber deal, and then it makes a windrow. So it's extremely violent, and we can set it to how hard, how coarse, or how fine we want it to grind. So this, we're feeding some Sudan millet today, and so it'll grind it, blow it back here, and then put it in a little windrow, and it's tough as hell. So yeah, so this is what the hay looks like sitting, and then we'll get some spread out, and we'll look at it again there. So, but it's a pretty mean machine. We use it for feeding in the pens, but we use it for outside too. See why I like it so much? I mean, it just processes that hay, makes it nice, chops it up into little pieces. Instead of just like rolling it out and they all stand on it, it makes it into a windrow, and look how beautiful it looks now. I love it. So that's why we use that, and it's tough as hell too, but yeah, that's better than rolling it out, and it's easier, and tractor's tough. These cows here are going to stay in this pasture. We just moved them in here. That's why it's got so much grass. So what I do right before these cows start calving, I've got 4 groups of cows, and in each bunch, there's about 140 cows in each bunch. What I do is right before they start calving, I move them to a fresh pasture with lots of grass. And so that's why there's so much grass in here. These cows just started calving. Now the other 3 pastures have not started calving yet. And that's why we're feeding hay today too, because the grass is really short. And then I'll be moving those cows to fresh pastures in about a week or 2. So before the end of February, all the cows will be in a fresh pasture. So they'll have lots of grass, and then we just leave them. Once they start calving, we don't want to move them. We want to just leave them there until spring, until they're done calving, and then we brand all the calves, and then we might start rotating them again. Now, it's going to get below 0 tonight, so we got a cabin up here. I call it the cabin. It's really not a cabin. It's made out of concrete, but we call it the cabin. We're going to go check it. I'm going to go make sure the water's dripping in there, and the cabinets are open, so we don't have any problem freezing in it. And we're going to hit a few more spots, and then we're going to let Carlos keep trucking with the tractor, because we're fixing to get stuck. We got our target fixed, so we're good there. I've gotten stuck down here so bad that we've actually had to come out here with the front end loader and just pick the pickup up. It was so buried. It's like the axles are completely buried. It's like you're gonna pull the freaking axle off of the frame. I'm sure it wasn't my fault I got stuck. So I'm making another cattle guard right here. We got an old road there. So this cabin, I don't know how old it is. It came with, when I bought this was kind of the Wiggins part, and so I bought this. The old man that built it, this is kind of when like cinder blocks were invented. I mean, that's how far back it goes. So when cinder blocks came to be a thing, he built some horse pens over there on the other side, and then he built this house here, and they call it the cabin. And of course, I've remodeled it. And then after he figured out how to build a house with cinder blocks, then he went to town and built one. And of course, that's been, I don't know, 60, 80, 90 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. So it's a pretty cool spot. This is a cool spot too. So this is kind of where we keep our guests. Guests come. Bonnie thought about making an Airbnb, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I was like, we ain't do no Airbnb. So if y'all don't know, if you're from like South Texas or somewhere and you don't know things like this, the way you keep stuff from freezing, let it drip. And then I open the cabinets up. Normally you don't need an extra heater, but the only reason I do it is because I've got these Mitsubishi systems here, and I just don't freaking trust them. So most of these mounts in here are kind of all of them been shot off the ranch. Luke shot this one. That was a beast. He was right at 200. That's a nice deer. Luke's like, I shot kickstand, and then I got there and I said, oh hell no, kickstand's not that big. Yeah, it's a good spot too. Boy, you're out in trees. Big Indian camp back there. If you want, you can go look for arrowheads. I don't think we're good here. But these Mitsubishi systems, when it gets down to about 0, they quit. They just say, nah, it's too cold to work. So they just quit you. So you kind of got to watch them. But other than that, they're fine. 90% of the time, they're fine. That's the biggest deer Luke ever shot. That's a big deer. Used to, whenever I'd always take him hunting, I'd make him shoot all the junkers. I was like, we got to shoot junkers, until you can go on your own. And then he goes by himself, and he like drags that monster in. It's like, Jesus. It's a good deer. Yeah, I like this cabin. I could live back here full time. Pretty sweet. Yeah, this old tree here is all falling down, but it's a giant American elm at one point, and it's gotten all rotten and fallen down. I'm sure that's why they built that house here, because it's, used to all these other trees wasn't here, That was a big old tree. It's on its last leg now. Yeah, all these big old cottonwood trees are all dying down here. I've got postcards from the turn of the century when those cottonwood trees, they were pretty big, but they wasn't that big. They'd come down here and like have church picnics and stuff down here. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see what the trees look like 100 years ago. Sure, just like I figured. Freaking Ace Hardware heater is not working. I'll be back. Let's go get another bale of hay, and we'll go feed them bulls. Oh, damn, there it is. Gosh, damn it. There's that crack. There's that fucking hole we was looking for. Mother effer. Well, let's go ahead and get the net off this hay. All right, let's roll some out. So that's the difference between rolling hay out. I mean, they're going to eat it fine, but you see with the processor, it knocks like some of this mold and stuff off. It knocks all that off. I just like when you run it through the processor, it looks better. I mean, they'll eat this fine. But... Oh, here comes the bulls. Oh, good. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it makes me feel better. I thought we were going to go drive around and look for them too. 3, 4. All right, so Carlos is going to get the rest of it with the tractor. He's got 3 more pastures to go get. It's going to take him the rest of the day. So we're going to run back to headquarters, make sure everything's not going to freeze tonight. It's going to get below 0. So yeah, we're glad for the moisture though. So, all right, we'll see y'all next week.